Good evening. We will call to order the Tooele City Planning Commission meeting for the meeting held tonight, Wednesday, July 9th, 2025, here at 90 North Main Street. First, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you could all rise and say the pledge with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda, we'll have our roll call. Commissioner Hammer.
Here.
Commissioner Proctor. Here. Commissioner Sloan. Here. Commissioner Hamilton. Here. Commissioner Jensen. Here. Commissioner Anderson. Here. I'm Chairman Robinson. I am here. We recognize our alternate, Mr. Gossett, in the back. We excuse Commissioner Dunn. We also recognize Mr. Johnson, Mr. Hanson, Ms. Fairborn, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Agard, Councilmember Manzione, all here tonight.
Councilmember Hanson has to be excused.
And we will excuse Councilmember Hanson thusly. Next on the agenda, public hearing and recommendation on a proposed ordinance amendments to tables 1, 2, and 3 of Code 7-14 and 7-1-5. Mr. Agard.
Thank you, Chairman. This is an ordinance amendment that has been on my to-do list for quite a while, and it involves the construction of twin homes in Tooele City. Currently, the way that our ordinance is structured is two-family dwellings and duplexes are permitted for construction in the MR16, MR12, MR8, R17, and R18 residential districts. In order to be able to construct a duplex or a two-family dwelling, they say, for example, in the R17, you basically have to have double the lot size. So if you have a lot that is 7,000 square feet in the R17 zone, that lot has to be 14,000 square feet in order to construct a duplex or a two-family dwelling. So the question is, what is a duplex? Well, a duplex is a multi-family home. In a duplex, there are two dwelling units with two sets of tenants. A duplex has one owner that is responsible for renting out and maintaining the entire property. So in the case of a duplex, you have one structure, one property. A duplex does not have a property line bisecting the unit. So this is an image of a duplex, but this could also be a twin home. And we'll get into the twin homes in just a minute here. But a duplex doesn't necessarily have to be side by side. Some duplexes may exist and you may not really realize that there's a duplex there. So this is a good image of a home that's not asymmetrical, that includes two dwelling units. Duplexes can also be divided between upstairs and downstairs rather than side by side, because there's no property line when dealing with a duplex, which our ordinance currently permits. We get into issues when we start talking about twin homes. A twin home also has two units. However, the homes are technically classified as single-family homes because the twin home owner maintains their half of the property and owns their half of the property. So you have one structure, but two properties. Typically in a twin homes are always side by side because of the property line extending through the center of the structure. A lot for a twin home would appear in this configuration. So in an R17 zone, you would have each lot being the minimum 7,000 square feet with the property line extending through the center of the structure. The problem we've encountered is our ordinance does not address twin homes. It does not address the zero lot line of development for the property line extending through the structure. And that is what we would like to fix. So the dilemma is that Tooele City codes easily permit a duplex. Double the lot size, you get a duplex. There are no property lines involved, no building setbacks issues exist, and no property line extending through the structure. So there's no issue with a duplex. You have double the lot size, you build your duplex. Tooele City codes do not address twin homes or the construction of a building over the property line. The codes also do not address minimum lot size for each side of a twin home lot, which is what I'd like to fix. And currently, by ordinance, there is only one method for constructing a two-family dwelling in Tooele City, and that would be a rental duplex. Now, we do field quite a few requests from developers that would like to do twin homes, and we always have to tell them, well, you can't do the zero lot line development. So we want to fix that. So to enable the construction of twin homes, condominiums for two-family dwellings, and continue to permit rental duplexes, we want to make these changes and put more tools in the city's tool belt. Here's an example of a duplex subdivision. This is Gossamer Place. It was approved a few years back. You'll note that the lots are 14,000 square feet or larger. This is an R17 zone, so those lots are designed to accommodate a duplex. This is what we call Porter's Place condominiums. It's on Coleman Street. It was done a few years back. This one was a little different because they did what we call a condominium plat. So when they were ready to get their approvals, they did a condo plat, which basically privatized the unit space and created limited common areas and common areas. Therefore, they were able to have private ownership of each unit, and then the area around it was common space. After we approved this one, we realized that the ordinance actually prohibits condominium development for two-family dwellings. So that's another thing that we'd like to fix. This is a twin home that you will see in Shetland Meadows twin home. You'll note that the property line does go directly through the center of the property. These were approved at a time when the city was experimenting with an R2 zoning district. The R2 zoning district was short-lived. We do not have that zoning district anymore. But this was approved during that time. This is the subdivision plat for Shetland Meadows. You'll see the highlighted lots are as small as 4,000 square feet. And again, the property line goes down the center of the property through the middle of the structure. And this aerial view kind of shows the property line where it extends through the structure. This is Par 4 Estates twin homes. This is a new development up by the golf course. They constructed twin homes over the property lines. The way that they did it was they did a PUD over the property, which permitted some additional qualifications such as zero lot line development. The issue here is not all lots qualify for a PUD, either by size or they don't have the amenity to qualify for a PUD development. And then the subdivision plat. So each lot here is about 5,000 square feet. So twin homes exist. There's a lot of them in Tooele City, and many of them were approved under conditions and zoning ordinances of the past or through various methods. What we need to fix is those lots that don't have the PUD capability and don't have the R2 zoning district. So we're proposing amendments to Tooele City Code 7-1-5 definitions, and then tables 1, 2, and 3 of Tooele City Code 7-14. And I'll briefly go over what those changes are. The changes to the definitions ordinance is we'd like to add a definition for a duplex and a definition for a twin home, just so that that is codified and in our ordinance. We would like to change Table 1, Table of Uses, and add a conditional use to condominium dwelling in the R17 and R18 zoning district, which currently does not exist. So I believe this would be a good location for some condominiums, since the code already permits duplexes in those zones anyway. Table 2, table of allowed density. This one is where we will add the twin home and then the lot size. So, for example, in the MR16 zoning district, the minimum lot size is 10,000 square feet for a single family. For a twin home, you would have to have 5,000 square feet on each side. And that specifies those lot sizes, and it also specifies that twin homes can be constructed within those zones. This table amendment includes removing the minimum lot width requirement for properties within the MR20, MR16, MR12, and MR8 zone. That is for the purpose of townhomes. We do not require lot sizes for townhomes in order to facilitate private ownership of townhomes. This lot width requirement often comes into conflict with that. We're proposing the removal of that. And then on the minimum side yard, highlighted in blue at the bottom, We're adding a footnote, which will direct the reader to this footnote that states twin homes may be permitted a zero lot line for internal side setbacks. We believe that this will facilitate another option for two-family dwellings in these zones, enable private ownership of those dwellings instead of a rental situation, and just give us another tool for facilitating housing development. So that's the proposed ordinance amendments. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to entertain any questions you might have.
Thank you, Andrew. Any questions from the commission for staff? Mr. Sloan.
So if I understand what you're looking for, essentially we're changing to a zero lot line and playing with the side yards, but when it comes to multiple, I still need 14,000 square feet to do two homes in an R17.
You do.
So all we've really done is allowed them to push them up against the house next door.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't do any changes in regards to a two-family dwelling. It just provides, it clarifies an issue of the ordinance that we've been encountering quite a bit.
Any other questions for staff? If not, this proposed ordinance amendment does require a public hearing. We'll go ahead and open the public hearing. If there's anyone from the public that would like to come forward and address this item, they may now do so. Okay. We will now close the public hearing and bring it back to the commission for any further questions, comments, or motion.
Can I do a comment before we?
You may indeed, Commissioner Sloan.
Andrew, I appreciate the work you've done on this, and I appreciate the spirit with which you've done it. It corrects a problem that you guys are probably dealing with a lot. What it doesn't address, and Shetland Meadows is a perfect example of what can be done on a 4,000, 5,000 square foot lot. And while I'm in support of this change, I don't have an issue with this change. I don't feel like it goes far enough, so don't be shocked if I come back to you later or try and push a little bit to do something with some something to, and I see the good gentleman behind you from D.R. Horton, in his mind he's nodding. He's not doing it publicly, but in his mind he's nodding. There are places, and in this day and age, we need to figure out some way to do a nice little house on a nice little lot, and Shetland Meadows proves it can be done. We've done it in the past, and we got rid of it for whatever reason. So that's my comment, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Sloan. Anyone else?
Ditto.
Okay, if there's no further comments, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for you, Chairman.
Commissioner Proctor, please.
I move we forward a positive recommendation to the City Council for the Twin Homes Text Amendment request by Tooele City for the purpose of amending Tooele City codes to permit zero lot line development for twin homes and townhouses, clearly define duplexes and twin homes, and permit condominium developed for two-family dwellings based on the findings in the staff report.
I'll second that.
Motion for a positive recommendation by Commissioner Proctor, seconded by Commissioner Sloan. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, we'll take it to a vote. Commissioner Hammer.
Aye.
Commissioner Proctor.
Aye.
Commissioner Sloan.
Aye.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Aye.
Commissioner Jensen.
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
The chair also votes aye. That moves forward with a positive recommendation, 7-0. Next on the agenda, decision on a site plan design review request by Nick Berlin for the Edenbrook Townhome Development located at 1772 North Broadway. Mr. Agard.
Thank you, Chairman. This is an interesting little project for your consideration tonight, kind of a unique one. It involves the 0.2 acre parcel located on the intersection of Copper Canyon Drive and Broadway Avenue. The property is currently zoned MR16, as are all of these surrounding properties. The reason why I say it's kind of an interesting little project is they're proposing 3 townhomes on a 0.2 acre lot. That's a small lot. But given that it's zoned MR16, allows 16 units per acre, this lot technically could yield 3.2 units. Therefore, it is within the density limitations of the zoning ordinance. We have been reviewing this and working with the applicant for quite a while to fine-tune the site to make sure that it complies with all of the setbacks, which it does. Make sure that it complies with landscaping and so forth. As you can see on the site plan, the 3 units will face Copper Canyon Drive. and they will each access that public road. So therefore, there is no official entry into the development as all the units are accessing a public street. This is the landscaping plan. The landscaping proposal is for gravel and trees on the front and side yards, which would be maintained by an HOA. The rear yards will be privately owned and privately maintained space, so the occupants will be maintaining those rear yards on their own. They have included trees and shrubs according to the code, and they do meet the minimum standards for landscaping as required by our design guidelines. This is the building elevation as proposed for the front. It does comply with the architectural standards of the design guidelines. The primary materials of the front exterior are a wainscot of stone. There is a section of brick that extends to the roof, and then the remainder portion of the wall is a stucco panel. The applicant did put in the pitched roof to break up the roof line. Their original proposal was a straight roof, and they are single-car garages. This is the rear yard. They do provide the pop-out, the rear elevation. They do provide the pop-out. Primary material is stucco with some hardy board siding, and the side yard, or the side elevation, also includes the stone at the base with some stucco paneling at the top. Staff have reviewed the site for conformance with the parking standards, landscaping standards, site plan standards, and so forth, and we are confident that this proposal does meet or exceed the standards of our multifamily residential design guidelines, and we are recommending approval with the basic conditions listed in your staff report. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
Thank you, Andrew. Any questions for the commission, for staff on this? If not, we've already heard that they recommend that we approve based on the fact that it meets all the requirements therein. Does anyone want to make a motion to that effect?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the site plan design review request by Nick Berlin for the Edenbrook Townhome Development, application number 2024036, based on the findings and subject to the conditions listed in the staff report dated June 30th, 2025.
I'll second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Sloan, seconded by Commissioner Anderson. Any discussion on that motion? If not, we'll take that to a vote. Commissioner Hammer?
Aye.
Commissioner Proctor?
Aye.
Commissioner Sloan?
Aye.
Commissioner Hamilton?
Aye.
Commissioner Jensen?
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson?
Aye.
Chair also votes aye. That site plan design review is approved, 7-0. Next, a site plan design review request by Building Dynamics for the Lexington development located at 1225 North, 680 West. Mr. Agard.
Thank you, Chairman. So you've seen a project similar to this before. You'll probably think you're looking at the same thing. Before it was Lot 106. This is Lot 105. Lot 106 is immediately south of the property highlighted in red. This is a proposal for a townhouse development. It will belong or be part of the Lexington Townhomes development, which is what you see immediately south of Carroll's Way. So basically that entire development, and then it bootlegs to the north to incorporate some more townhomes there. Property is currently zoned MR16, as are the properties to the south and to the east, and then to the north and west we have R17. The property to the west is currently undeveloped land. This is the site plan as proposed by the applicant for this development. There are two townhome buildings, one with 8 units and the other with 5. Each unit will be accessing 680 West, which is a public street. And then there is a stormwater detention basin located to the north of the townhomes. This is the landscaping plan. On the south side, there will be some gravel. They are proposing some sod, some irrigated buffalo grass. That was what they're proposing on the west side and in the stormwater detention basin, along with trees and so forth as required by the city code. And these are the building elevations. If you've been out there and looked at the ones that are building, that's exactly what they're constructing. They'll look exactly the same. These elevations meet and exceed all of our standards for architecture for multifamily homes, including masonry on the exterior, both on the front and on the rear, and then on the side. So we're confident that this application meets all the standards of our design guidelines, and we recommend approval with the conditions in your staff report. If you have any questions, I have an answer for you.
Thank you, Andrew. Any questions from the commission on this one? If not, I will move that we approve the site plan design review request by Dave Irving, representing Building Dynamics for Lot 105 of the Lexington development, based on the conditions and based on the findings and subject to the conditions listed in the staff report dated June 26, 2025.
I'll second that.
Motion to approve with a second by Commissioner Hamilton. Is any discussion on that? If not, we'll take this to a vote. Commissioner Hammer.
Aye.
Commissioner Proctor.
Aye.
Commissioner Sloan.
Aye.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Aye.
Commissioner Jensen.
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
Chair also votes aye. That site plan design review is approved 7-0. Next on the agenda, a decision on a preliminary subdivision plan request by D.R. Horton for Western Acres Phase 3A, located at approximately 1600 North Copper Canyon Drive. Mr. Agard.
Thank you, Chairman. Just before I start, I hope that each of you received the revised staff report. The one in your packet I had, for some reason, included the wrong maps. I look at so many maps that sometimes I get cross-eyed. So hopefully you all received that. These maps are correct. This is the aerial view of the Western Acres, especially Phase 3A, which will incorporate pretty accurately everything that you see highlighted in red there. Property is currently zoned MR16 PUD, multifamily residential, the PUD being the specific design criteria that was approved for the PUD development about 5 years ago. I've included this overall plan for Western Acres for the Planning Commission's reference. The area highlighted in blue is what is being proposed with this phase. I also wanted to point out that this does include some R17. The zoning map does not reflect that. So I've sent a request off to our GIS specialist to correct that. But the single-family homes on the east side are actually zoned R17. And that zoning was ratified when the PUD was approved. So the layout of the proposed phase does comply with the general layout of the original PUD as it was approved. This is the northern half of the phase. You'll note that, again, there's single-family homes located on the east side, along with some front entry and some rear entry townhomes. The interior roads for this phase are all private. The only public street is Copper Canyon Drive. However, this phase will not involve any construction for Copper Canyon Drive. That would be subsequent phases that will come in the future. And then the southern half of the phase, again, the interior streets are private. There is the Middle Canyon drainage that extends north to south on the west side. If you'll recall, D.R. Horton did an amendment to their PUD and asked for some reduced setbacks for townhomes that are adjacent to that drainage to accommodate a future change when that drainage becomes public property. So having reviewed this preliminary plan, staff is confident that it complies with the PUD, that the lots do comply with the standards of the PUD and the MR16 zone, and we are recommending approval with the conditions listed in your staff report. If you have any questions, I can answer those, and Mr. Lewis is here as well if you have any questions for him. So.
Thank you again, Andrew. Any questions from the commission for either Mr. Agard or Mr. Lewis? Okay, if not, I will entertain a motion on this one.
Chair, I move we approve the preliminary subdivision plan request by David Lewis, representing D.R. Horton, Western Acres Phase 3A, application 2025-009, based on the findings and subject to the conditions listed in the staff report dated July 2nd, 2025.
I'll second.
Motion to approve from Commissioner Anderson, seconded by Commissioner Hammer. Any discussion on that motion? If not, we'll take this to a vote. Commissioner Hammer.
Aye.
Commissioner Proctor.
Aye.
Commissioner Sloan.
Aye.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Aye.
Commissioner Jensen.
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
Chair also votes aye. That preliminary subdivision plan is approved 7-0. Next on the agenda are council member reports. Councilmember Manzione, welcome.
Hello, Commissioners. We didn't have a meeting the first week of July due to the 4th of July celebration, so.
Acceptable.
What?
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable, yeah. So our next meeting will be July 16th, but I thought I'd just mention a couple of upcoming things. I think I mentioned this before, but a reminder that Michelle Pitt is retiring as our city recorder. I think the 15th is her last day, and Shiloh Baker will be taking her place as our city recorder. So if you see Michelle, you can wish her well and welcome Shiloh to that new job. It'll be And then we have just a heads up that you will be receiving, I don't know if it's your next meeting or the next after that, Mr. Perez will be back with another rezone of our city-owned business park. We had it zoned before, including a rail spur, and it's just not a practical thing. So we've worked with another company to do a new plan, and as soon as that's approved, then he'll be bringing that to you. Just wanted to give you a heads up. And then the last thing I'll mention is that the city is hosting a Meet the Candidate Night on July 30th at the Parks Building from 6 to 8. So if you're around and interested or want to tell your friends and neighbors, that will be available. And that's all I have. Do you have
Plus,
any?
the Parks building is really cool.
Yeah,
It is.
it is really cool. So a good chance to see it. Any questions for me?
Any questions?
I think you guys actually formed a quorum at the parade, so I think
Although we were kind of straggled a bit, so,
the same event, that's all I'm saying.
all right,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Next, review and decision on the minutes for the meeting held on June 25th, 2025. Any corrections, edits, fixes to those minutes? If not, someone want to move that we approve them?
I move we approve the minutes.
Move that we approve the minutes for the meeting held June 25th, 2025 by Commissioner Jensen. I will second that. And we'll just take it to a vote. Commissioner Hammer.
Aye.
Commissioner Proctor. Aye. Commissioner Sloan.
Aye.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Aye.
Commissioner Jensen.
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
Chair also votes aye. Those minutes are approved. By your stance at the podium, I suspect you would like to say something.
Mind if I just take a moment?
Please.
Our next scheduled meeting is July 23rd. And as you know, that's the day before a state holiday. I have two items that I could put on that agenda. One of them is a fairly benign zoning map amendment. The other one is the Tooele City water use preservation element of our general plan. I'm happy to be here that night. I have no plans for the holiday, but I wanted to run it by the commissioners and see if we'll have a quorum that night before I issue notices of public hearing. So for those of you that are here, including Mr. Gossett there, who would be willing to attend that night? I know it's the night before a holiday, but
It's a holiday.
I'm willing to attend, but if you don't feel like there's nothing there that's time sensitive that we don't have to, I just soon give you the night off.
one item is not time sensitive. We have till December 31st to get it done. That's the element. The other one, it is an application by a gentleman who submitted, and who knows how people are with their applications. But I have no problem being here. If I have a quorum, we'll go ahead and move forward with that meeting.
I think we
It
can
looks
have a
like we have a
quorum.
quorum.
We
So,
can celebrate Pioneer Day Eve together.
okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
We are adjourned.
Stay here any longer will cause problems.